We're back answering your hyper-specific fragrance briefs, and today I'm here to talk about one that I think is really unique and interesting. It's somebody that would like to smell like the feeling when you're about to cry, when your eyes start welling up with tears in kind of a poetic way, in a moving way. And I think it's a great way to demonstrate the power of fragrance and its ability to evoke emotion. We know from working on the floor at Lore Perfumery that people are often moved to tears by some of the fragrances that we have in here, whether that's because it brings up a scent memory for them or whether it just moves them for whatever reason. It's something that happens quite often. So this was a really interesting fragrance brief to think about and pick some fragrances to demonstrate it with, but I think I've done it. The first one is Soul of My Soul by Etat Libre. This is a fragrance that is named for an Arabic saying or term of endearment used for loved ones. When you love someone very much, you would refer to them as the soul of your soul. And this is a fragrance that I would describe as a clean musk, but it's a little bit more than that. There's suede, there's iris, there's rose, there's a little bit of pink pepper. It's definitely clean, but it is also kind of fluffy and soft and enveloping and feels like a hug. It feels like being embraced when you need it most. So I think it's definitely a fragrance that lives up to its name. And I think the other thing about it that's really beautiful is that it lasts a really long time, just like your love for someone else does. So that's my first option. My second pick is The Heart of Love from Map of the Heart. This is a fragrance that's all about contrasts, the juxtaposition between love and hate, between joy and pain. So every note that you find in this fragrance contrasts another one. So you have aldehydes, but you've also got oud, you've got iris, but you've also got incense. And so it's really unique. And for that reason, it is a real thinker of a fragrance. It's something that you keep going back to over and over again and you're kind of puzzled by, which I think really represents the complexity of the human experience and human emotion. So I think definitely makes sense for this brief. My third recommendation is actually two fragrances, and they're both from Grandiflora. Saskia, who started Grandiflora, began her perfume journey because she was obsessed with recreating the smell of magnolias because it's her favorite flower. And I think that what makes them so wonderful is that they are so dramatic. They're huge. They've got these big leathery petals. They're very fragrant in a kind of unapologetic way. And you can see that represented in the first Magnolia fragrance, Cendrine, which Saskia created with her friend Cendrine, which is supposed to represent the magnolia at the beginning of its life cycle. So it's quite fresh. You see grapefruit paired with the magnolia here. And then very sadly, Saskia's friend Cendrine passed away. And so she wanted to make a second magnolia fragrance as an ode to her friend and her friendship with Cendrine. And so that is where Magnolia Michel comes in, which represents the magnolia at the end of its life cycle, where it dramatically throws itself apart, its petals fly off, and the fragrance changes from being fresh to being warm and kind of sweet and indolic. These fragrances are super unique, but they are definitely very moving. I think that you can really feel the emotion that went into these scents, and therefore they definitely fit the brief. I hope these sound good to you and encourage you to give them a try either via a custom sample pack online or coming in store to sniff them.